Okay. Hello, friends. Welcome. So this is Team Imperfectly Awesome, which is perfect that I said it wrong. It's Team Imperfectly Awesome, and I'm really excited. We're going to start to do these trainings more frequently, actually every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And I have friends in every time zone now, so I feel like I almost need to go 9, 10, 11, and 12, depending on where you're at in the country. And then I'm also going to be recording these so that way they can be watched later and for those that can't attend live. But today, I wanted to chat about one of the things that are super basic. In theory, they're meaning basic, as you're a consultant and even a customer, it's important to know, but not everybody necessarily understands. So we're going to chat about perks. So Perfectly Posh Perks. Perks are great, and they are the reward system that Perfectly Posh puts together. Now I'm going to talk in a very loose tone, and I mean that the details may change because depending on when you're watching this, it could be years in advance potentially, and I just want you to understand the meaning and the reasoning behind perks is intended to be the bonus for being a Perfectly Posh customer, Perfectly Posh hostess, and Perfectly Posh consultant. Everyone benefits from every purchase, which is super cool. So things I want to talk about, I'm going to speak from both the customer standpoint, the consultant standpoint, and the hostess standpoint, and I'm going to go kind of all over the map. Just going to start there. So if you have that expectation, we should be good. And if you have questions, please chime in. That would be outstanding. So first thing to know is you get perks for all the things. All the things. So if you're a customer, every purchase that you place, you will get perks for. Every purchase. As a hostess, when someone purchases under your party, you get rewarded with perks. If you're buying from your own party, you get perks as the hostess, you get perks as the customer. Okay. Now there's different levels for hostessing, and we can make sure that that chart gets shared. But it's important to understand if you are the consultant and you place an order under a party that you are hosting, you are getting customer perks, you are getting party perks as the hostess, and you are getting paid based on your title. If you're pink or above, then you're getting paid at least 25% on that. So you're getting tons of perks, right? Candy says, my first newbie mistake was not knowing or understanding that host must be signed up for perks first. That's a great point because I did not. These are the things that there's a lot of little nuances, and that's some of the things I want to flesh out. I also want to bring up things that I didn't even realize about perks until recently, and I've been a consultant for 5-6 months, almost 6 months. Tomorrow's my 6-month Posh anniversary. That's exciting. Okay, just realized that. All right, so no, that's today. Happy day. Okay. Squirrels. All right, and I have notes because if I don't take notes, then I will forget to say things. So that's the reason behind the notes. So from a consultant standpoint, one of the main reasons I wanted to have this talk for the team is it's important to understand what do we spend perks on. If you can get PV or personal volume on an item, it's ideal not to use perks on it. I say ideal because everyone's going to run their business differently. It absolutely is your business. But if you can buy cheat sheets and you can have cheat sheets and you can get 15 PV on it and you can get paid on it, it's better to save your perks or to earn 15 perks on this than spend. This is $15. $15 is 1,500 perks. I'd rather get 150 perks for buying this than spending 1,500 perks on it. Now, that brings me to, I don't understand the way that it works. Basically, it is 10 times the dollar value. So 15 times 10, 150 perks is what you get for purchasing this. If you're now notice how it's in the other hand, now it's like I bought it. Now, if you actually buy items that have PV, so personal volume that you're paid on, I always think of PV as what I'm paid on. If you buy it, then it's going to be 100 times. So basically move the decimal 2 over. So if you, for example, Okay, we're going to start with, if you sign up for a Perks account, you get 500 points. That's $5, because again, move the decimal 2 spots. It's $5 credit for all your brand new customers. Sign up for a Perks account, you get 500 points. It's $5 they can immediately use. If they use Perks on a purchase, then you will not get personal volume on it, because think about it, if someone's using their reward points, you're not going to get paid on that. That just makes sense, right? Kelly says, it's today. I always remember your join date. It's your husband and daughter's birthday. 1,500 perks is $15. Just stick a decimal in there. Earns 150 perks. Take off a 0. Ooh, I like the take off a 0 part too. That's helpful. So it's important to understand from a customer standpoint. You want to make sure that your customers understand. Make sure you don't check out as a guest, because I did that. I'll tell you, I missed out on perks. If you check out as a guest, you don't have the opportunity to earn perks, which then you can turn into free products. As a consultant, things you do want to use your perks on, things you can use your perks on include samples, catalogs. I have all these things here, like samples. I have a catalog holding my coffee cup. So we're gonna, catalogs, thank you notes, right? All these business supplies you can get for free. You will need to pay $5.99 shipping, but my goodness, I got a pop-up for free, like one of those actual pop-ups that you would use it. I use it for softball. I use it to keep the rain off me, those kind of things. You can get those things for free using your perks. Now, how do you earn perks? One, with purchases, obviously, just like your customers when you're hosting your parties, as I've mentioned. I also want you to think when I'm pausing because I'm trying to decide which path. So I want you to think from a customer and hostess perspective, because we're going to jump back to as a consultant. Customer and hostess perspective. If someone is hosting a party, you want them to know if they reach the next level, how many more perks will they get? You want them to know, if this is on my wish list, what size party do I want to have? If this is on my wish list, how can I get it all free? And if so, what does that party look like? Versus if I were to use half off codes, which you also don't get PV points on, what does that look like? So make sure that your hostess understands the perks program, because it can be a little confusing in the beginning, and also make sure that they understand their purchases will also bump them to the next level. So that's important to understand as well. So these are ways to earn perks. Like if you make a purchase 3 months in a row, you get perks. If it's your birthday, you earn perks. I believe that's 500 perks. If you get points to sign up, I talked about that. As a consultant, you get points every month you have more than 200 PV. 200 PV is a qualified consultant. So if you have 200 PV, you get perks the following month. It's pretty awesome. If you get rank advancement points, and that's based on, or perks, you get that based on the rank that you achieve. Obviously, as you earn a higher rank, you will earn more perks, which is really cool. You earn perks, and this is my favorite because this is the best way. If you know that, or we have a number of new consultants here on team and Perfectly Awesome, and I can say that we actually have, hi Shannon, we also have the ability to, if you let people know when you sign up, you get perks for hitting these 3 quick starts. The first quick start, and again, I'm just going to say from a dollar's perspective, because if I explain perks and points, it can be a little confusing, especially to our friends who are just getting started. So if they hit their first quick start 15, they get $60 in Posh. Now they can use it on, they can use that on products, or ideally they would use it on business supplies, right? But they can totally use it on products. I used all my early perks for purchasing samples, so that way I could spoil my friends. My friends, and just make sure that everyone is taking time to pamper. For 30, quick start 30, you get $120 in Posh. Like it's substantial, right? And then for 60-day quick start, you get $180 in perks. It's amazing. Kelly says, fun fact, you've never paid actual money for your samples, catalogs, or any other business supplies from the portal. I cannot say the same thing. And the reason I can't say the same thing is because I took advantage, and Kelly, this wasn't around when you got started. I took advantage of the 50% off items for your first, I think it's 10 orders on business supplies. There's some business supplies. It's not 10. Yeah, Candy, you're saying 5. Okay. In your first 3 months, you can take 50% off a certain number of orders. And I will tell you, I took advantage of that because that was a steal and it was great. Candy's hoarding perks in case there are things that come with the catalog change that you'll want. You'll want new catalogs for sure. Besides samples on new products and catalogs, is there anything else that I want for the new catalog? You know, this is my first one. This is my first turnover, so hopefully Kelly can share with that. Kelly said you didn't get the 50% off. You always forget about that. That's a great idea, Candy. You do that too. New catalogs and new samples. Yes. And if you use the new consultant discount, using perks is still at full price. Yes, absolutely. That's important to know. Also, perks is more than what the dollar value is. So for example, Candor Bender, I think, is 18 for 20 samples. I think that might be wrong. So for example, this, if it's $18, it's not 180 perks. It instead is something like 2,000 perks. So it costs a little bit more perks. But for me, getting samples free is my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite. And then we also have, Kelly says we usually get new swag with new catalogs, t-shirts, cups, and fun stuff like that. So I'm not holding one. I just got the Posh Premier mug, but today I'm holding my do or do not. There is no try Yoda mug. So yes, there's also, you can get swag. You can get Posh t-shirts. You can get there's always fun stuff. They've had like mask appliers, which sounds like pliers, but okay. Whew. Anyway, so you get perks for your quick start. If you're brand new with Posh as a consultant, you absolutely get new perks with your quick start. For our friends who have people who have brought in and shared Posh with their downline, you also get perks when they hit their quick start goals. So when they hit their first quick start, you get 1,000 perks. So that is $10, right? I always write it down in perks and then want to translate it. So when your downline hits their first quick start, you get 1,000 perks. When your downline hits their second quick start, you get 2,000 points perks. And then when your downline hits their third quick start, you get 4,000 points. And then when I was researching this, I saw that if you have 6 people that hit their quick start, I don't know if it's all 3. I need to research that a little more. Then it's great because then you actually get like a lot of perks. So as you're bringing friends in, and again, this is new, so I have not hit that. Plus Posh Academy perks. Yes, Shannon, thank you for bringing that up as well. So there are so many ways to get so much free stuff. I know it seems surreal because there's so many ways that we forget about a lot of them. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up. What do you use perks on? How do you earn perks? How do you make sure that you're sharing perks with friends? I really like to equate. One of the things that was a big changer for me, and Shannon, this was your recommendation, is instead of saying you get 6,000 perks, no one knows what that means. You get $60 in Posh to spend how you please. Now, if you spend it on products, you can absolutely do that. You just won't get the PV for it. But you can totally do that. And then you just get $60 if you hit that first quick start. That's incredible. So you essentially sign up, you get an incredible kit, depending on the month. It can be anywhere from $200 to $300. I don't focus on the kit value, as we've shared previously. And the reason I don't focus on the kit value is because in reality, most friends that I want to be coming along and to play in this realm and hang out and pamper their friends, we want to make sure that they're actually going and they're sharing pampering with their friends so they can hit these quick starts and get all these additional perks for themselves. So, I don't focus on kit value, but I definitely focus on the amount of value that they can earn and achieve through the quick start programs and also through all the other amazing incentives. Thank you, Candy, for sharing that. So she said, here's the new consultant discount details. So this is important to understand. Less helpful in terms, or it's it's helpful, but I mean, it's not necessarily perks based, but this is important for friends to know because as consultants that have been around a little while, we forget that this was offered. Take 50% off qualifying business tools, click redeem to add the discount to your cart and click here to add them up. Add up to 10 tools in your cart in 3 different orders with the promo code, and it's 50% biz tools, and get the tools for 50% off. And yes, so that's for 3 orders, and you can put up to 10 in there, which is cool, but can get pricey. So don't dive into, we want to make sure friends aren't diving into debt because that's not what the objective is. The objective is instead to make sure that we're pampering our friends and also doing it ideally with money that we've earned through sales. That would be the ideal way. So that is a beginning stage only. And then from that point on, ideally you would use perks for all of the business tools. So the catalogs, the swag, the fun stuff, right? And then but you can totally use it to overhaul your bathroom and then or make samples with, if you wanted, I'm going to use something that I recognize is on its way out just because I have it within hand. If you want to make samples of this, this was never sampled, but you can take a lacon, which you can get in the back office with perks. You can take one of those and you can like make different samples. This is going to be a little more cost effective than actually buying samples of, for example, Apricot Me, which is also a body polish or scrub. I always get the difference between the polish and the scrub. Whole nother topic. So yes, today that was my main focus. And then now I would love to get the lacons, L-A-C-O-N. They're little, hold tight. I'm going to show you. You can hear me. See the jacket? There we go. Okay. This is not from the back office, but this is how you can make samples of things that don't have samples. And this is much more cost effective than samples. So for example, if you were doing, it's hard to do this like hovering, but this is now a sample of body polish, right? So this is a smaller one. I got this off Amazon because I wanted one that was a little bit thinner and smaller as opposed to using a ton. But this way you can label it, put a little sticker on there and label it, and then say, here's a sample of this particular. I would not do items that are on their way out, which this is, but I would do items that are maybe on their way in. So for example, the Gender Bender Scrub, get a few of the lacons, and then get a few of the lacons, and then go ahead and make sure that you sample them out. This isn't, okay, stop playing. So you can absolutely do that. Some of the things that are coming in, it's great to sample them that way. I was going to try to decide, I think I'm going to dive into it, and if you have questions, let me know. The reason I'm diving into it is because I have it here, although I have robbed it of all of its goodness because I have a party. The Lend Out bags. So I'm going to do a real quick tutorial on Lend Out bags. This is the one example where oh yeah, Kelly says, with the double kit, I would suggest newbies make their own samples. That's a great point. So for December, now mind you, this video will live on in infamy, ideally, but for December of 2018, there's a double kit, meaning that there's 2 items. So for example, there would be 2 of this. This is not in it. This is a summer product, but this is like my own personal. I'm actually going to stick it if it'll fit in here. Ta-da! And I'll explain why. So you can absolutely make your own samples, hand that out. That way people can see and experience what you're currently using with the kit. And then I potentially even join by year end as their Christmas present to themselves. That's a great way to do it. Great point, Kelly, for sure. So I want to chat a little bit about the Lend Out bag. And this works as well for our friends with the new kit. Although there's some things that would be really challenging to lend out. So you'd have to actually like cut up, for example, the classic pink snarky bar and then put them in like a little Ziploc. So I want to talk about the Lend Out bag. What is a Lend Out bag? It's exactly what it sounds like. So for our friends that had this in their kit, I recognize not everyone did because I recognize with the double kits, they have not had these bags. If not, you can use, y'all, this is like magic tricks. So this is, for example, in the back office, New Year, New You. How cute is this one, right? It's a little small. I would actually grab a large one of these. These run $8, I think. maybe 10. But you can use perks for them. Yay. So Posh has a number. I just happen to have these two right here. But get a bag, right? It doesn't have to be a Posh bag. Just get a bag. You can get bags for free in the back office. And then what you do is you fill it with things that people would likely experience. So I like to fill my Lend Out bags with a body polish. I typically do You Apricot Me because I know that one's going to hang around. Or I actually recently did Tis the Season to Be Freezin' because I knew it'd be around a little while. I also include I don't have it here because y'all, my Lend Out bag is like, my stuff's on top. There's my ceiling. Hang on, I'm gonna get stuff. Don't mind me. Just gonna get a few things. All right, guys, every time I chat about my branding, I laugh because it's so perfect for me, because hot mess, right? Which is out of stock currently. Okay, whole nother topic. So I typically will include things like a body polish. I will also include a moisturizer depending on the season, right? I really enjoy Hips Don't Lie. Kelly does not enjoy Hips Don't Lie. You can also include Young Love, but make sure that you have a scrub, a moisturizer for the body, right? And then you want to also include, I typically include BFF because it is our most popular and I know it's not going to go anywhere, right? I have also included things like Bright Young Fang, and then a moisturizer. So we're talking basic. When I chat about facial stuff, I often chat about if you're going to start, if you've never washed your face before, because I did not before Posh, start with a good wash and then also a good moisturizer. This is basic face, right? So I have now 4 things because I've got the scrub, the moisturizer, I have the face wash, the moisturizer for the face, and then I will also include a serum, right? Never Grow Up serum. I was including, no, I never included the one that is now sold out because I love it too much and it's mine. So sold out. Ideally, you want to stick to core with this because that way you can easily replace it. You know that it's not going to necessarily go anywhere for potentially a year. And then I also include an off mask and an on mask, right? So if you think about that, we have 1, 2, I just dropped 1, 3, 4 items, right? This is body and face, moisturize, and scrub. And then I include 5, 6, 7. So I have at least 6 items in there and I'm covering all of our major bases. The only thing that I'm missing in here is like a hand cream. Also note that everything is in one of the squeezy tubes because it's really hard to sample out a chunk unless you are absolutely including this. You can totally tuck that in as well. So in fact, I'm going to throw it in there so it's ready for the next person. So we want to make sure we're exfoliating and moisturizing both body and face, and then also adding anti-aging and masking, right? So that's what I include. That's what I include in the Lend Out box. So with the double plastic box with the lid would work, but bags are cute. It's true. A plastic box would count, but then you have to, I guess you have to clean out these guys too. I haven't had anyone deliver anything gross, like bring it back gross, which is good. But I'm also kind of a germaphobe, so I won't ever include my fresh creamy milk. I love my fresh creamy milk, but like I'm not gonna share this with somebody because that's, nope. If I were to do that, I would scoop a little bit in a lacon, right? Let's see, you do duos, right? Like a scrub and a moisturizer, facial cleanser and moisturizer, etc. Absolutely. So I'll do an on and an off mask, a serum. I haven't done a toner because I think Squeeze Me is on the retired list, or it's going to be retired. So there's not, otherwise it's like the one that you put on like a thing. So I haven't done that yet, but this has been sufficient and most people get really excited. And typically when I lend these out, my goal is to lend them out. My goal is to lend them out for 3 days. I typically end up lending it out for about a week just because between figuring out when to drop off and pick up and whatnot. And this is obviously for local friends. Shannon, I'm excited you brought that up. And then I'm going to wrap this in the near future, but because I'm going to answer your question. So when I lend them out, I like to lend them out minimum of 3 days. So that way people can see it on their counter. They can feel it in their routine. They can see how easy or hard it is. We know it's super easy, but that way they can experience Posh all the way around in the shower, you know, while they're washing their face, or maybe people wash their face in the shower. They can use all these things. It's not crazy germy because they're not sticking their finger in things. Germaphobe for life. So that way they can actually experience what Posh is like. So to answer your question, Shannon, about a toner. So I love this question. When you wash your face, cleaning it, right? What you can do is then you spray. I use the Squeeze Me, and so I spray toner on. What toner does is it allows your skin to actually absorb the moisturizer much more readily. So it allows, and serum. So essentially, if you use a toner, it's going to kind of prep the skin to be a straw and suck up whatever you put on it. So basics: wash, moisturize. If you want anti-aging, and that's how I share it with friends, because it's really, if you want to go above and beyond washing your face, if you want to wash your face to avoid breakouts, great. But if you want to go above and beyond washing your face, you would then add toner and serum. Toner or toner. It just makes it so the pores open up and can receive the serum, right? And then moisturizer goes on top of that, and serum helps the moisturizer also absorb, right? So it's important to, I mean, if your toner and serum do similar things, serum is more anti-wrinkle, toner helps everything absorb into the skin. That's a better way to put it. Yeah. And I'm getting a yes from Candy, so that's helpful. So yes, serum is anti-aging though, for sure. Like, get rid of the wrinkles. I keep meaning to do a before and after of like, I had these, and I had these. Now I have bangs because I don't want to deal with my eyebrows, I'm honest. And wrinkles and age spots for sure. Yes. So serum is the anti-aging like powerhouse. And moisturizer will get you a little bit there, but like serum is the whip cracking. If you're going to use a serum, make sure that you're using a toner before it, just to maximize the benefits. Why would you buy the serum and not necessarily want it to like get in there? Okay, so we answered a lot of things. I'm going to wrap this lovely training up. I encourage you to ask questions. So that way, today I really wanted to cover perks, so that way we could share that with new friends that don't necessarily understand the perks relationship. And I still am learning. Like I said, I forgot that, or I didn't even realize that you get perks for more than 200 PV. And this will be my 5th month, or this is my 6th month that I have actually achieved that. So I have 23 pages of perks, friends. That's nuts. I was looking at my perks going, how'd that happen? That's amazing. So that's, I mean, I don't know how else, I wish I had a total of how many perks I've earned. I haven't found that, but it's also might scare me a little bit. So it's really cool. So if people are concerned, or if people are looking for the opportunity to earn perks, again, as a customer, every time you place, for our friends that are a little bit more than, that want more than a customer, then they can host and they can earn their good gob of perks. And then for people who want to do that continuously, hello friends, welcome to the opportunity. Get paid and get double perks as your customer, the hostess, and then paid as the consultant. It's pretty cool. In addition to earning quick start points and earning, what do we say, all the things, rank advancement points, and earning downline quick start points. I shouldn't say points, I should say perks. Anyway, point is, you can get free Posh, and you can get free Posh, and you can get free Posh. So I thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I will go ahead and stop this and make sure that it gets up to YouTube, so that way our friends who are at work or unavailable can watch this later. And so many P words. Perfectly Posh Perks. I love it. And we will make sure that everyone gets the opportunity to see this, and I hope it's tremendously helpful. For friends, go ahead and when I post this, drop additional comments in the comments, so that way I can make sure to build next training, which is in 2 weeks, right? I believe I settled on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of the month. However, that's different for January, because I don't want to be here at 9 a.m. on the 1st of January. I will actually be driving to get my children. So we will bump that one to the 8th. So Yay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys in the near future. Bye, friends.